Hello, welcome to Scarecrow Miniature Painting. I'm Steven, and we are in the final process of our Warlock Fun series. As you can see, we have the miniatures that we're going to paint today. With this one, we're doing only the eyes. We're going to be doing those in mummy robes. So it's an off-white, which helps with the fact that we already gave it a wash. We didn't want to do the wash beforehand because typically what happens when you do the wash is if you get that too thick, it dilutes the eyes to the point where if, say, I put down a normal set, you may only see about that much after the wash. So we wanted to do the wash first so that we can make those eyes pop. And then afterwards we're going to do the object source lighting. Now, if you notice, this can hit all the way to here. So we're going to hit everything from here down on that side of the zombie. We're going to hit the back of the zombie's head. We're going to hit his legs on both sides up to about his tunic leg right there. And this part is going to go somewhat across his face and up his hand on that side. So it's going to be a very interesting video today for those that have not ever seen object source lighting being done. Should not take too long. The eyes are going to be the easiest part because we got 3 sets of eyes. It might be a little bit longer, but shouldn't, because with eyes you really just need to do a small dot in the recess that it is in. And my water is not wanting to work with me today. So what I'm doing real quick is I was just adding water to our paints. 1, so they won't dry up when we do go to use them, and 2, so we can actually thin them down, because you still want to thin them down even with doing the minute details we are about to do. So let's start with this one's eyes. So the reason I'm starting with this one's eyes is solely because of the fact that that's all we have to do on this one. The other one, we have the zombie's eyes, we have the object source lighting, and we have the warlock's eyes. So I'm just going to take a little bit of white, and I'm going to push in on the recessed area that it showed. And then I'm going to take my rag on this side. I'm going to try to redo it if I can. And I do apologize, I'm just trying to make sure I don't stain this shirt. I do not know how that paint even got on there, seeing how the only red I had was on there. That is strange. So I'm just going to take a little bit more white to this side and just push it out a little bit. And there we go. He's got 2 eyes. One's a little bit bigger. Eyes are a little bit more difficult, I will say that. That's why a lot of people do eyes before a wash, because they are more difficult to master. However, as I've said in prior videos, my techniques are not for display quality. They are for miniature painting tutorials and for the tabletop ready. So his eyes looking like that are perfect. This one we're going to take him. He's going to be a little bit easier to do because he is looking straight forward. Because we're going to give him a little bit of pink eyes. Now, the reason we're giving him pink eyes is because of the fact that we want it to look like he has control over his magic. Like so. Same with the zombie. The zombie's going to be a little bit easier. I might have thinned that down a little too much. We'll see. I want to take a little bit of that pigment. I'm just going to dot in like so. So, that is how you do eyes. Now we're going to give that a little bit of time to dry because we do want to begin work on our object source lighting. So I got me a dry brush. Now the reason I got a dry brush is because we are going to be doing a technique that I learned from, I believe it's Goon Hobbies. So what he does when he does object source lighting is he dry brushes first. So I guess we're going to take it, and you want to hit it more so heavily closer to the object itself, or the source point itself, I should say. And you might be thinking, well, Steven, doesn't that defeat the purpose of the highlighter on that hand? Yes and no, because we are going to be showing you how to also create this object source lighting. That's the point of this tutorial, is the object source lighting itself. So his entire, like I said, his entire side up to about right there. We're going to wrap it around a little bit. And we're going to make it a little bit heavier on the closer parts of that. And remember, we did the we did the ground because there's going to be parts where the object source sliding shows up more as well. So we're going to take it, we're going to do it like so. We're going to get his face a little bit. So that's one easy way that you can do it. You could stop right there if you wanted to. However, we are going to go further than that. The reason we're going to go further than that is because some of these points I want to be a little bit more angled, and I'm trying to see how we can do that. I'll do the tip of that tail a little bit too. Because when you think about it, the object source lighting, it's going to be darker the farther away it is. So you can definitely do majority of the figure like I just did. But what you could also do is you can take the next highest, the next darkest shade, we're going to oversaturate that. What I mean by we're going to oversaturate that is I mean we're going to oversaturate that with color. Or water, I should say. Because we're going to thin it down to a really thin wash. And we are just going to apply it especially heavily to the areas that are closest to the figure. And less heavily to those that are not. Like so. So we're going to wait for that to dry. And we're going to see how that turned out. Now we still got to do the zombie. So just like before, we're going to heavily do the areas that are touching it, and we should have probably thinned it down a little bit more, but this is what we had available at the time. And I can always take a napkin on this zombie and just do this as well. I can do it on the figure too, just try to clean up any recesses. But that is it. We have an object source light shining off of the figure. As you can see that the brighter the area is, the more dry brushing we did, such as the hand and the chest. And the reason we did that little white spot is you can see that it actually kind of hues off of that. And that is really it, though. This series is now completely done. Let me try to focus that in a little bit better so you guys can see it. This is how he turned out. I am personally in love with how he turned out. He is one of the better figures that I have painted with this much detail. I'm glad that their eyes worked out, because if you look, they now are shiny. His entire body is just illuminated with that, and you can still see the red that's supposed to be through that object source lighting. Now, if it was a lantern and it was like this far away, it'd be a little bit lighter. I would have dry brushed a little bit lighter. Well, it ain't a Scarecrow miniature painting video without the phone falling. But I would have done it a little bit lighter. And we can even go a little bit further with this figure. If we feel that is too bright. Let me clean my brush. And we can even go back over some of those areas with a dry brush like we did before. So for instance, if I feel like right here could use a little bit of a touch up, or just where the darker recesses should be, just going around and touching those up to make them even darker. We can do his color a little bit more. We can do right there a little bit. We can dab that a little bit. Right back here. His pant legs. Could even do this zombie a little bit more. Like around the zombie and on the back side. Like so. And that makes it even more, look, because if you look right in the center, it's the closest spot, and you still see that it spreads from that point, because that's where that point comes from. So with that being said and done, I do appreciate all of you watching the videos. I do appreciate you all taking the time to, especially with these last 9 videos, watching it and going through with it with me, and just being there every step of the way. This figure I'm also really proud of, just because of how he turned out. The eyes are a little off, but like I said, the eyes I'm not too worried about, because when you're that far away, you can't even tell that the eyes are off. Because he's going to be on the ground, you're going to be looking over him. So all you're really going to see, at most, are those highlights we did. With that being said and done, that is all we have for this video. The next series we're going to do, I haven't decided yet. I have some hobgoblins, some goblins. I was thinking, since we've been doing a lot of darker tones, I do have a tabaxi I can paint. And we could do more of a cheetah tabaxi. Cheetah printed tabaxi, and make it more vibrant. I'm going to put a brief pause and see what else I have real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I'm going to leave it up to the community right now to decide. So we have a tabaxi rogue we can do. We could do more of a cheetah print on him and make him look more, what's the word I'm looking for? More vibrant with the leather. Some more vibrant leather, such as a light brown, instead of the dark colors rogues are more known to have. We could do a half-elf monk and do more of a yellow pants. It does have that translucent fire. We can even do a object source sliding off that, like we did with this one. I have a half-elf rogue. We could do some more vibrance and show you how to highlight cloaks. And it does have that lantern. So that lantern, the way it's facing, it's going to do object source lighting a little bit differently than that would. It would do it more so like up here did, where it's barely there. So we can do that for sure. Or we have some spiders. I would not mind painting a couple of these little guys and making it to where they are good and tabletop ready. If you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know on what you would like to do or like us to do. Once again, we do also take commissions on our Etsy store. So if you have a specific figure you want us to paint or want us to purchase so you can paint, we can definitely look into that as well. Beyond that, that is our series. I think our tieflings turned out amazing. We still have the pattern showing through on all of the patterns that we did. We have the highlights that we wanted showing up exactly how we wanted them to. And we got that object source lighting down to a T. I mean, that just looks amazing to me. Look at that. Let me try to get it to focus. I mean, you can't get much better than that because of the magic and how everything works. That just looks amazing in my eyes. And it might not look that best on my camera, but when you're this far away and you're playing on a tabletop, you can just tell that, hey, that dude has magic going through him. It's lighting him up. That is amazing work. So, with that being said and done, like I said, leave a comment on what figure you want me to do next. I do have some other figures, but these are more of the ones that I could actually do some lighter tones. more colorful, more vibrant tones as well. Especially this half elf. And then we will look into seeing what we can do. With that being said, thank you. Have a great night. Don't forget to check out our Patreon, our Etsy store, and our Facebook page. Have a great night.